I don't think it's a stretch to say that The Last of Us Part 2 is a controversial game. People are either outraged or in love, and there isn't too much of a middle ground. It took me a while to figure out how I felt about it too. I watched a playthrough, and having heard what I did about the game, I went in expecting to hate it. But I was confused because, well, I didn't, so I decided to play the game myself. While I get that it's not the story many people wanted, it's a story the creators wanted to tell, and it's really not the dumpster fire that the internet has made it out to be. There are parts I don't love about the game, but that doesn't make me hate the entire thing. You can tell that there was still a lot of heart put into it, and of course, some very interesting decisions. The acting was great, the graphics for both the cutscenes and the in-game environment were phenomenal. The gameplay was familiar, with added details that made it feel more real. There are a lot of things I'd love to praise the game for. So many little details I appreciated or found really cool, and a lot of people seem to agree, but that's not what people are upset about. It's the story that has everyone divided, especially to do with Joel's death. But the thing is, it's just realistic in this world. Joel did a lot of things to survive. He wasn't an innocent man. It makes sense that someone would seek him out to have the revenge. I don't feel like he had to die a heroic death. To me, the way he died doesn't make it any less sad. I didn't care too much about the other characters, but I cared about Ellie and Tommy and Maria. Enough that I wanted to keep playing to finish their story. Ellie is a great character. She's consistent and believable as a person. She's the same character we grew to love in the first game. The things that meant the most to me in this game were the details that were grounded in the first, like how Joel said he would teach her how to swim or how to play guitar, and now we learn that he did. There were other things that I didn't even notice until I replayed the first game, like how Ellie did say that she wanted to be an astronaut, and that when Sam asks her what her biggest fear was, she says it's that she'll end up alone. And okay, can we at least appreciate that Abby is the daughter of the doctor from the first game? A character that many players actually expressed hesitation in killing, and who was involved in Joel's big decision to save Ellie at the end of the game, and not some shadowy figure from Joel's past that we have no knowledge of and just have to accept is now a big deal. Something that people seemed conflicted about, but I personally loved, was the boss fight with Ellie. It makes the player so uncomfortable because you don't actually want to harm her. But I found it so cool to see Ellie in combat and to see the threat that she must pose to others when you play as Ellie. I enjoyed the game. It was fun. They did something different. It wasn't a forgettable sequel that parted ways with its main characters in a happily ever after. It's beautiful, and I loved exploring, and I really enjoyed experiencing a new story and locations and encounters with familiar but refreshed gameplay. Is it a revolutionary new game with a lot to say? I don't think so, but it doesn't have to be. Are there some dumb things about the game that could have been changed to make more sense or make it more enjoyable? Yeah, for sure. But in the end, I think we all know that this game wasn't meant to give you a great big hug. It's a sad story, but I don't think it's a bad story.